Well, hello, 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 my friends. I'm so glad that you chose to join us today. Thank you for joining Political Talk of Charlotte. We have we have one of my special friends, Chuck Schaffner. He is married to my sister in Christ, Wendy Schaffner, and you guys probably are familiar with them. They are a dynamite couple in Memphis. But before I get started on them, I want us to get started with the beginning of the show. How about that? So we're going to get started. Invite your friends to join us. And please remember to don't forget to share this video, to email it to people if you need to put it on your social media sites. And maybe if you want to go and view it on mine, you can. This information will be great for everybody. We are back with Chuck Schaffner. Oh, Chuck.
Hey, Charlotte.
We got a friend. Behind you. Tell
Yes.
us about that friend.
Oh, my wife bought that, and it greets everybody that walks in the front door of our home. Uh, no matter what political party they're with, he greets them and says hello to them.
Chuck, you spoke with me a few weeks ago, and you told me that you would be willing to come on the show to talk about success, to talk about how success has actually chased you down the road, captured you, and you're doing so many wonderful things. And we want to talk about that. But right now, I'm going to get started with what President Trump said just prior to him being sworn in. He actually had a vision. And that vision is impacting and will impact so many people. But before I get started, I want to remind you guys that my show airs every Thursday at noon. If you want to reach me, you can email me at charlotte@charlottebergman.com, Facebook, both Facebook pages at Elect Bergman or charlotte.bergman.9. I'm on Bitchute, Twitter, YouTube, and various other social media sites, including Truth Social and Gab. Now, if you're new to this channel, leave a comment or just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe mostly on YouTube and Rumble, because right now on Facebook, we've got almost 15,000 people who could actually view the show. And we have you who are willing to share and make comments and like the show. So join us. Make sure you sit back and relax, get your popcorn, your Kool-Aid, or whatever you drink, and enjoy the show. Chuck Schaffner is a very, very informative guy. He is, as I said before, has done a lot in this community. And he has that great man behind him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what this great man's plans are for Americans. So give me a second. Let me pull this up and let's get started. Let's hear what our president has to say. And he starts his message by showing that he is not happy with what the higher education institutions are doing to the American people. So let's hear the president.
Americans have been horrified to see students and faculty at Harvard and other once respected universities expressing support for the savages and jihadists who attacked Israel. We spend more money on higher education than any other country, and yet they're turning our students into communists and terrorists and sympathizers of many, many different dimensions. We can't let this happen. It's time to offer something dramatically different. Under the plan I'm announcing today, we will take the billions and billions of dollars that we will collect by taxing, fining, and suing excessively large private university endowments, and we will then use that money to endow a new institution called the American Academy. Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without adding a single dime to the federal debt. This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills, and make that material available to every American citizen online for free. Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly. Using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing, this will be a truly top-tier education option for the people.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, he's actually gotten started.
Yes. It's a great statement.
As a matter of fact, if you remember on July 4th, was it? He signed the one big, beautiful bill into law.
Yes, he did.
And a lot in that law allows for what we are discussing today.
Yes.
Tell me about you, Chuck. Let my audience know who you are and how they can succeed.
Well, like a lot of young people, choice is what it was about. I come from an affluent family where we could just pay for college, and you had a choice whether you want to go to college and wreck up. I would have to borrow the money, get $40,000-$50,000 in debt, or go into a trade. My father was in carpentry. He was in construction. That's the field that I chose. And my father and I went into business together, and I was in the construction business for over 40 years. We grew a fairly large business. We employed, dozens of people, if not sometimes hundreds. And it was a very, very successful path. Majority of your entrepreneurs are your tradespeople. That's where the entrepreneurship comes from. You got people like a lot of your big successful people never even went to college. They went into trades. Bill Gates, he built computers. He was a builder in a way. He never went to college. Look at Microsoft. That's Bill Gates. So the choice to go to college or not, sometimes just not being offered. I was able to build a successful construction company without going to college and building up substantial debt that I would owe for many years. And sometimes people never pay that debt off. And it's not something that you can ever get rid of. It's there forever. You cannot get rid of that debt until it's paid off. We built a company. We ended up having multiple offices around Tennessee. Eventually we were bought out by a large corporation, and we continued to work for that corporation for years. And I put 43 years in it, and we had a pretty successful life without having to go into debt.
That's extremely important. Thank you for sharing that. You are such a humble man, with the exception of maybe I'm waiting for an invitation to ride in Tennessee. It's not everybody that's driving around in a Tesla. Okay, everybody. It's not everybody.
I love my car.
Self-driving vehicle.
Yes.
And you were able to purchase it because you didn't waste your $40,000, and $50,000 is cheap now. We're talking.
It's cheap, yes.
We're talking $100,000.
A lot more now. That was back when I was going to go to school. It'd be $30,000 of debt. Now that's a lot larger.
It is. And I just want to say about myself, I spent about that amount of money because I'd attended a private university, Christian Brothers University, and I paid that amount. Plus I received, as a result of my grades, I received a number of awards and help getting through my education. So anyway, a lot of people are going to need help with their education. And what we're talking about between you and myself are accredited training that people can acquire. I woke up this morning and immediately I saw a YouTube video, and it says people aren't working. Their businesses cannot find talented people.
No, they can't.
One of the reasons for that is because after COVID, we had so many people who lived off the government, who didn't want to work. There were businesses that were shutting down because they couldn't find people to work. Why? Because the government was paying people to stay at home. Just like the government pays a lot of organizations to not work at the time, not produce gasoline or and things of that nature. Our government is poisonous to its people. But right now, since President Trump's been into office, people are beginning to realize, hey, I can't get that money anymore by sitting on my hind part. So therefore, I need to get out and work. I need to find a job. But hey, I don't have any skills. Well, let me give you a little bit of information that may motivate you. Now, Chuck said he went into the carpentry business. That entails building houses. What else, Chuck?
Well, remodeling. You know, how many? Even if you took a trade in school, if they brought back shop and things like, who wouldn't want to know? Even if you didn't go into that business, you went into something else. If someone come out and give you a bid on work, you'd have an idea of what they were talking about, whether that price would be in range, what it should. You know the time it took to do that, so that it would have a lot of benefits even if you went on to college if you took trade schools. So it has a lot of benefits across the board. Choice is what it's all about. College, trade schools, you have the choice. They've pushed people to college so much that no one's had the experience to know whether they would like to be a tradesman. They didn't
Well,
have the opportunity.
well, I'm going to share. Maybe I can give a little incentive to want to go into, say, carpentry. In the
Yes.
state of Tennessee, you can start out making $47,000 a year. Whereas there are people who attend college who go and get maybe even a second degree. And many of them end up working at Starbucks, being a
Flipping
barista.
cappuccinos.
They're electricians in Tennessee. Many of them start out at $58,000 a year, up to $73,000 a year. And this is not starting
Insurance,
families.
and they have no debt.
And they have no debt.
Yeah.
Plumbers start out with, say, $52,000 a year, up to $72,000. Now, what I know for a fact,
Yeah.
CDLs, I know something about CDLs. Those are the
Yeah.
people who drive these big rigs that
Yes.
drive trucks. Average start pay is $72,000 a year.
Everything you touch is transported by a truck.
Absolutely. My son attended a university in Florida, came back to Memphis, couldn't get a job. So what he did was he took a CDL training course for a few weeks.
Yep.
He makes six figures. He
Yes.
takes mama out to eat. Okay? Come on, y'all.
You know what the unemployment rate is for those trades versus our unemployment rate now is bouncing around four plus. The unemployment rate for those trades is down around 2%. So it's almost nothing. Trades almost have no unemployment. They can't find enough people, in other words, to fill the trades.
You've got a point there. And I mentioned earlier about the one big beautiful bill, and people are having a problem with that because they are being misled and led to believe that is a bad thing. But President Trump's one big beautiful bill is a historic win for students, for families, and for taxpayers. That one big beautiful bill delivers student borrowers in a big way, simplifying the student loan repayment system, funding $10.5 billion shortfall in the Pell Grant funding left by the previous administration. Let me tell you, this gets even so great. There are new Pell Grant fundings that are available to people. I mean, you want to go to school, you don't want that 40, 50, 80, $100,000 a year. I mean, $80,000 a year amount that you have to pay back when you graduate. Consider doing this. In the one big beautiful bill, what they did was they put in an amount that will help pay for you to go to school. They are willing to help fund your schooling. And what they want to do is they want to increase access to higher education and create competition in the college market. And the reason for that is it takes just far too long to go to through a higher education or a university. With what Chuck is advising, what I'm suggesting, you can get this training in a short period of time.
Well, they also have if you're an able-bodied person and you're on Medicare, you have to work, right? But if you go to a trade school, that counts as your work. So they also are. You have that option right there. Go to a trade school, that counts as your work, and then you get off of it. You get off of government assistance. Free money is like a drug. It's just like a drug. When people get free money, they tend to just want to keep getting free money. This gets you off of that. You get it. You get from you that little bit of free money you get is nothing like what you're going to get after that trade school. You're going to get $40, $50, $60 a year job. You're going to be very successful.
Listen, you are right about now that people are not receiving the free money. I think they were making like up to $40,000 a year just to not do anything, while businesses around us were collapsing because they could not find people to work.
Absolutely.
So there are programs which requires maybe you work 8 to 15 hours, 8 to 15 weeks, or you between 150 and 599 clock hours. Okay. States, either the governor of state workforce board will play a significant role in assessing program eligibility using various metrics. They're required to meet the hiring requirements of employers. And what is happening is they are using not just the Pell Grant, they are using the workforce Pell Grant for students. Hey, you can't get any better than that.
That's the government investing in you.
That's the government investing in you.
That's right.
So that you can invest in the government.
That's right. Well, right here in Memphis, they're building a brand new tech school right off Tanny Thomas and Interstate. It was a smaller tech school there. They're tripling the size of it. And they're building it right now.
Okay. Yes.
And they teach bricklaying, welding, carpentry, all at that one tech school.
So what is it that could possibly stop people from wanting to better themselves without having to go through to a university and spend hours and years trying to obtain a degree?
One thing we really got to start doing is catching kids at younger ages. Bring shop back. Micro has got a big initiative going across the country, bringing shop and trade schools back into schools. I had friends when I went to school. They took auto body in school. They own body shops now, but they never would have had the experience or the exposure they hadn't had it in school. It can't be a late in life thing always, because sometimes they've been pushed toward college so much that they think that's their only choice.
That is true.
If you start middle school to high school, giving kids the exposure, then they know if they have the aptitude for carpentry or electrical work. If they don't, at least they can fix something around the house. They can change a tire. People can't even change a tire these days.
Oh, mentioning a tire. Yesterday, I was so proud of myself.
What'd you do?
I put air in my tire.
Okay.
I purchased a device about 4 months ago saying I was going to put air in my tire, and every time I think about it, I became.
Are you getting that signal on your dash saying your tire's low?
Yeah, I am. And I put air in my tire yesterday, and I was so proud of myself. I was going,
good job. See?
Yeah. Yes. But anyway, I think it's imperative that we understand that not only are people, say, finishing high school and aren't able to get a job, they can go through the training. But also, when I had my radio show, I had a gentleman that called in And I remember talking to him, and he left a profound impact upon me. He stated, when I was under 18 years old, I got in trouble. No, it was just after, around, he was around 18 or 19. He got in trouble. So it was still on his record. It was a felony.
Mm.
Well, when he would apply for jobs, he could not get hired. But he made me aware that he started his own business, and those particular skills that I mentioned, electrician, carpenter, or, CDL drivers and people like that, they can start their own business, and they don't
Absolutely.
have to work for anybody else. So therefore, that mistake that they made in their youth, it won't penalize them for the
So
rest.
instead of being hired, he was hiring.
There you go. There you go. Now, what he was calling in to discuss with me was, yes, he was successful in his business, but he couldn't vote.
Right.
So he wanted us to work on that, and that's something that I really want to focus on.
Some states have done that. There's some states, Vermont, some states that even think about that. Vermont even lets prisoners vote. So that's kind of an odd thing, but some states have worked on that.
Okay. So what else do you recommend that young people do to get prepared? Because the new jobs are coming. I mean, with the tariffs,
One thing they got to worry about is IT is going to replace a lot of jobs that people don't understand. Coding, computer coding, IT is going to wipe that out. IT is going to replace a lot of jobs that people think they can do from home. It's going to wipe out a vast amount of jobs that people aren't expecting it to happen, but it's happening fast. If they don't look at other opportunities, all of a sudden, that what they're doing is going to be gone.
I agree with you 100%. And I think what you're sharing is extremely important. I think we can make Memphis great. As I often say, if you got a job and you're making money, you're getting out there driving around with an AK-47 or what have you, robbing people, that diminishes because you now have responsibility that you can
And
look.
those people probably never had the opportunity prior to that they should have had. They in other words, they were able to roam freely and get with each other and hang out with each other if they had structure and had an opportunity. We have opportunity zones around the city, and we need to have those more, where we go out and give young people in those communities opportunity. If they don't see a future, don't see opportunity, they do other things. That's what they do.
That is definitely true.
They feel lost.
So that video that I played at the beginning of the show, that video was created in November of 2024 before President Trump became president.
Before he was ever president. Okay.
Well, he had been elected.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
he had been sworn in. These jobs, in-demand jobs, they are available now. And what the president said in that video was he was going to sue universities, the universities that are going around and they are hiring DEI students that are not beneficial to our growth as a nation. He was hiring the universities because they were encouraging people to attack the Jewish people, Jewish students. And last week,
Yep.
he received the Department of Education canceled for Columbia University $400 million in federal grant.
Saw that.
Can
Yes.
you imagine that money being used for a
He didn't have to go to court. They just paid it. They just wrote him a check. They said, no, we don't want to go to court.
I'm guilty. But that money,
When you go to court, you have to show the truth, and they don't want to show everything. They just want to buy it. They just want to pay. Get out of it.
they did not want to go through this government.
No.
But President Trump is suing a number of universities. I think there are about 61, which include Harvard, American University. I was looking at the list. There is even a university in Tennessee that is being sued. And you know what? That money is going to be, UT of Tennessee is going to be redirected toward these special programs to allow people to get the training that they need, because we got to shine, you guys. We got to look good as Americans. If the president is going to impose tariffs on those companies that are offshore, if they bring their businesses back to the United States, they're going to need people to actually do the jobs that are required. They're going to need plumbers. They're going to need carpenters. They're going to need various people to get the facilities up and running.
Mechanics, all that. Yes.
That's money you can take to the bank. They're going to need people like nurses and various other people. I mean, like CNNs, CNAs, people like that, that doesn't require you to go through a 4-year, 8-year, 10-year program. So,
2-year apprenticeship, and you're making $60,000 a year, and someone else is still doing 4 years building up debt.
Well, as I said earlier, there are some people that are going through training for 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh yes, of course.
Months.
Yes.
And my son did that. I think he trained for like 6 months. He is making.
He will never look for a job. He'll always have a job. That's trucking is the number one. Everything we touch, everything we eat, everything transports by truck.
Yes.
The truck shut down, the country shuts down.
Thank you, Chuck. You definitely are a great example of someone who actually have use your hands, because that son of mine uses his hand
Right.
to make himself successful. Noni
I'm proud of you.
says, huh?
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I know you are.
I'm proud of all of my children. Noni says, if our grid is ever attacked, skilled labor will be who gets us through the hard time. So you're right. We need everybody. We need those people who are going to do the programming, watch the data centers, and we also need the skilled laborers.
There's always somebody that builds those data centers. Somebody has to build them. Somebody has to put the equipment in. So it takes both sides of the people to work those data centers, the technicians and the builders.
I was with a CEO last month, and he is actually building a company just right outside of Tennessee and Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And he used to be like a CEO of the Blue Oval City. Now he has branched off and started his own business, and they are building those batteries.
Okay, yes.
They are building batteries. Well, he explained to me how his hiring process is going to go. He's going to use Americans to do those things that you described, the basic things, building the facilities, plumbing, electrician, and all of that kind of stuff. And then he's bringing in people from South Korea to actually do the IT work.
I think B1B visas or something like that. We used to bring people in through B1 visas. That's the way immigration is supposed to work. You bring people in through the right way, the B1 visas, not jumping across the fence.
I'm going to tell you, Americans out there, I'm going to tell you, listen to Mama Charlotte. Get off your hiney, get that education. Someone that is coming over here with the H-1B visa, and what was it? What is the visa you were referring to, Chuck?
The H-1B, B1 visa, yeah.
They're fine, and they're welcome here. But
they're
you
intended,
are more important.
They're intended for jobs that we don't have enough Americans to do. They're not intended to replace Americans. You know, some people, I've heard some people tell me that their job was eliminated by people that brought over. Yes.
Mine was.
Yours was. That's not what that's intended to do. That's a wrong use of the visa.
And I had multiple degrees.
Yes.
So if people are intent upon hiring the cheapest labor that they can, Americans will go by the wayside. But what President Trump is doing is saying, Americans, you are first. American first. So therefore, get yourself qualified, get yourself educated, whether you become an electrician, a plumber, or what have you, whether you go to school for IT training or what have you. Get prepared for these jobs that are coming here in the United States, because tariffs, with the tariffs, the companies offshore, when they sell their products to America, they're going to have to charge a lot more. And if they raise the cost to Americans, they're going to hurt as a company, because people aren't going to buy them. So the businesses need to move their manufacturing facilities over to the United States, but we have a responsibility to be prepared to do the work.
Buy American.
Buy American, be American, and be trained American so you can do the job. Chuck, I appreciate you. Is there anything else you want to say before?
I really appreciate you inviting me.
You did a great job. And I tell you, that man behind us, he is a miracle worker. He is a miracle worker. And it kills me that liberals don't seem to understand how all of this works. They're just looking at the
Well, I told my wife something the other day. I said it was almost a godsend that he had a skip in his terms, because people got a taste of what the difference is. And he also, I got to admit, he also had a great education in the people he could trust and he couldn't trust. You know, his first term, he trusted people that he didn't know that he shouldn't have trusted. Now he knows the right people to put in the right places, and he has. I think Pam Bondi, the people that he's put in the offices are magnificent.
Well, I want him to take a look at Memphis, Tennessee.
Me too.
For the crime, and also to support me so that I can come out and support him and be that one vote that will keep him from being impeached.
We're with you. I'm the biggest fan.
Walmart is disappointing. You are right, Noni. So God bless you, Chuck. Thanks for joining me. I am honored that you took your time out to join me. I love that picture behind you. The colors behind you are just radiating.
It's a great picture. It's like I said, it greets every single person who walks in our home.
I'm talking about the picture. I'm not talking about President.
Oh, the other one?
Yes.
That one over there.
Oh, whoa! Oh my gosh, the beauty of our community. Whoa.
That's a good picture.
That's the best picture I've ever seen of the bridge.
That's done by Michael Manis. He's passed away now. Maybe it's worth more money now that he's passed away.
Michael.
Yep. You know Michael.
Facebook friend, yes.
We've got probably a dozen pictures done by him personally. They were done specifically for us. We requested, he did them based on what we requested in our home.
He was a good man. He took care of
took good care of his mother. He was a really good man.
Yeah. Well, you take care of my sister.
You too, dear.
And I love you guys. And thank you for joining me today.
Anytime. You just call me. Any topic you want, I'll get with it right in there. Roll my sleeves up. We'll get it right in there with you.
You are such a good person to share. I appreciate that. Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless. Bye.
All right, guys. As I said, and I'm going to reiterate, we need you guys to be prepared for the jobs that are coming to the United States. You know what? I believe you will be prepared. And I believe that you will make not only your family proud, but America proud. God bless you. I'm Charlotte Bergman, the host of Political Talk with Charlotte. Don't forget to check out my book, The Last Trumpet in the Battle for America. Bye now.